Hi, my name is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film, and also proud FENIX Global Artist Ambassador. Today, I am thrilled to be speaking with award-winning and acclaimed producer, composer, performer, mix engineer. He does it all. His name, Aaron Beaumont. For more on Aaron, you can read more about him right below this video, but in the meantime, here is my interview with the incredible Aaron Beaumont. Well, hello, Aaron. How are you?
Hi, how's it going, Will? I'm good.
I'm doing great, and I'm so excited that I am finally speaking with you. And I was telling you off camera, I can't believe our paths haven't crossed. We probably know so many people in common, not only here in New York, but I am sure in Los Angeles as well. Aaron, you do everything, and you do everything really freaking well, okay? You're a producer, you're a composer, you're a performer, you're an engineer. Let's just say it like it is. You're a Renaissance man. You have performed and had your work been seen and heard. I don't know, the Tribeca Film Festival, Theater 80 in the East Village, West Hollywood, Santa Monica, Budapest. You know, you've had #1 hits on Billboard. You are an in-house producer, composer, mix engineer for the Gregory Brothers in the Shmohoyo. You write musicals, you write arias. I mean, when is this going to be now, Will? You're probably asking an interview with you. Aaron, where did you grow up? And when did you realize that you had all of this creativity just screaming to get out?
Well, I grew up in, first of all, thank you. I'm like super flattered to, hear all that.
That's your resume,
back from you.
That's your resume.
I grew up in the Midwest in Rockford, Illinois, and my mom was she was a piano teacher when I was young, and then transitioned into teaching 4th grade fine arts. So we always were very, I guess, immersed in the arts, whether visual or musical. My mom was a classical pianist herself. That's what she studied for her degree in university, and then went on to teach. And my dad also worked in education. So, we were always around a lot of other musicians and players and, creative either performers in theater or visual artists, or, there was, I feel like I just kind of, grew up very curious, I guess. I mean, omnivorous about theater versus, whether it's the Beach Boys or the Bee Gees or Canternab, or, I am curious, I guess, above anything. So.
What I love so much, Aaron, is that you not only took all of this in, but you filtered it through yourself. And within that, you have fused so many different art forms and have been able to, like an octopus with, all these tentacles, you are able to, with your craftsmanship as a film scorer, visualize the musical emotional landscape. People have to hear what you have done for film, for example. And then on top of that, musical theater, then you can bring in that love of candor in it, but also you're a great story. I mean, it's hard for me to describe everything you do, because for me, at the end of the day, when I think of Aaron Beaumont, I think of a great artist and a great storyteller, whatever the medium is.
Wow. I mean, that's the goal, I guess, right? That's like that's the most fundamental part of being human, right? That's what we do, is tell stories. So, I mean, I think that's what anyone could do. I've also actually taught. I really enjoy teaching, and that's one of the things that I always encourage my piano students to do, just to explore that in themselves. I've always encouraged, because you learn so much by making, like by asking. Like creating something is really just asking a question, and exploring an idea. It's not. I mean, I guess that's always the goal, or the pursuit, is to kind of like, to explore what it is to be a human, to be, and all the facets of that. It's a question. So
Well, what I love so much about you too, Aaron, is that you have this childlike wonder and curiosity. You know, that whether it's a film that you're scoring, or whether it's a song you're writing for someone, whether it's a musical that you're writing, whether it's an aria operetta piece for, you know, a major opera star, whether it's any piece of art, it's like you are able to, whatever the assignment in medium it is, you're able to filter it, infuse it through your singular lens of not only craftsmanship, but also experience. And I want to know for you, I mean, it's probably like choosing a favorite kid, but is there a medium that you find more than the others that you swim in with the most ease? Or is it just dependent on the project and you kind of are able to traverse seamlessly?
Yeah, it would really be hard to choose because I mean, it really kind of depends on the day. That's partly why I think I've pursued the path that I have, because I really enjoy all those different hats. I think if I could only do one thing, I'm sure I would love it if I only did film scores or only did theater. But one of the great joys in creativity is that you can really sort of forge your own path. So it's like, I really, what I've done, I mean, I don't even want to say that it's super intentional. It's just different opportunities that presented themselves. And I've always thought to myself, like, that sounds like a blast. And so, yeah, let's do it. You know, whether it's a musical or a film score, it's like, I enjoy the challenge of being off the map, uncharted territory. So certainly like the first time I scored a film, probably, I'm trying to remember who it was. Like, I think it was a friend of a friend asked me if I did that, and I probably lied and said yes. And just, I mean, I'm sure I told him it was the first, my first rodeo, but yeah, I think it's that just forays into the unknown, into zones that are not your comfort zone, that are scary, maybe like going towards the things that you're, maybe there's some fear there, and yeah, I mean, I guess making them more known. I mean, it's always a challenge. It's always like there's always that kind of fear or that sort of like question when you're starting a new project. There's always, it's like there's the part of you that's like excited and feels like you can knock it out of the park, and then there's
Wait, Aaron, are you going to quote a Sondheim lyric from Little Red and say that you're both excited and scared?
That's exactly it.
Aaron, I knew you were thinking it, but
the adventure.
Yeah, well, what I love so much too, Aaron, and I get this as an artist, that within that little bit of, nerves and being scared, there's also care with that. It means that you care. But at the same time too, we know as artists, and through your education and through you telling the kids and teaching the kids, but also through your own experience, that it's through that fear of the unknown where magic happens. And
Yeah, exactly.
that's where growth happens. And you are a perfect example of someone who walks the walk and who is constantly challenging themselves with that childlike wonder and creating nonstop, but not just like creating and you're like good at that, you're good at that. You do everything with excellence. And I can only imagine that you have on your shoulders all of the support you got growing up, with all of the artists you grew up with your family, your parents. And I'm sure too, you gained so much energy and insight through teaching.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I haven't done as much of that since I moved to New York. But certainly when I was teaching piano and music, I kind of, over the pandemic, one of my former students reached out and asked if we could meet on Zoom, every couple of weeks or whatever. And it has sort of revived I find it really inspiring because, I mean, once again, that's one of the best ways to grow and learn is to, I mean, I don't know if there's a better way than to teach. And, I also kind of feel like it's like, carrying on the legacy of my family, my parents, my grandpa actually also my great grandpa was a music teacher on my mom's side. And there were a lot of musicians and teachers, on that side. And I think that it's a really important relationship, and everybody has been on, at least the student side of that relationship, but I think, it's a real gift to be on the other side of it as well, because I think it's almost it's almost more instructive.
Well, I also want to take it a step further, and I don't know if you've ever thought of it like this, but I think of you as a teacher and when you put out your art, and we as the listeners and the viewers of your art, we're being taught something. We're being taught something about the power of vulnerability. We're being taught something about the power of the human heart, the human condition, and all of the different textures and ebbs and flows we go through as humans. That's what I got when I went down, the Aaron Beaumont rabbit hole. And I think that you are teaching, and also you are building a beautiful legacy already with your body of work. That's immense. And again, excellent.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah. I mean, I that's the the goal every day is just to try to get better at doing what you do. And when I hear you say that, you find something to take from those things, it's really just that it's just trying to make something with honesty or clarity. It's like and I think that's the only way that you can make something that someone else may take something from, or may find some value in, or some meaning to themselves.
Well, listen, Aaron, I'm so inspired by what you do, and I know that everyone who listens to your stuff also feels the same way. And I just want to let our audience know that for more on the incredible Aaron, you can read more about him right below this video. And Aaron, thank you so much for your time. I could talk to you forever about everything that you do, and I'm so grateful for the time you took today to speak with me. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Will. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
In the digital age, artists and bands struggle to make a living. In fact, only a small number of artists can live off their craft. For the 98% of artists that don't have the luxury of being signed to a label, it's tough. But artists deserve to live off their art. Wherever you are around the world, appreciation of music does not change. FENIX brings bands and their fans together, whilst allowing bands to properly monetize their passion. The FENIX app will directly connect bands and fans with no need for middlemen. We're utilizing the blockchain to give the power back to the artist once and for all. Join FENIX, join the change.